Okay, folks, this will be a challenging one. Oh, I just farted. I feel like farting today. Sorry, folks. Anyway, enough about that. Let's just get this shit going underway. Keep bumping these buttons when I try to scroll. I really hate this system, the way that Konica Minolta have set it up. It's really shit. Whoever designed this flick and drag touch panel is a load of shit. Fucking idiot. Monkey brain. Just to repackage crappy functionality, but making it worse. Let's see how we go with this. Okay, what is it we're going to demo with today? We got here, I found it, and I cleaned it out. It is a beer bottle, right, folks? Just a beer bottle. Symbol of what people typically celebrate on Australia Day is getting drunk, sitting out on your fucking boat or on your tinny and drinking a tinny of beer or a bottle of beer and getting smashed and blotto and calling that a fucking Australia Day, calling that celebration. What a load of shit. In my books, you got to celebrate what has been achieved in Australia, not what has been fucking just a load of bullshit. What I call recreation. Recreation is like, you can have that any weekend. Oh, except of course work doesn't always allow it. I guess you're right. And that's come up with this shit house. This just fucking didn't roll very well. I'm not very good at rolling things lately. But basically, people seem to like celebrating being a bunch of rat bags on boats and drinking too much and all that sort of shit. Instead of celebrating innovation and all that, I'm sure there's some celebrations of innovation, but mostly they don't go as recognised as the people sitting in their fucking, in an inflatable and having a fucking, getting smashed. The old out in the sunshine shit. And that's come up looking really a treat. There we go, we have it. We got the label, that's what we wanted. But basically, it's just most people seem to think that Australia Day is all about getting smashed and getting drunk and doing stupid things and getting in trouble, occasionally getting in trouble with the law and all that sort of shit. Trying to have a good time and thinking that getting drunk is a good time. I think getting drunk is a stupid thing, folks. I know it's cool, and a lot of people think it's cool, and it's traditional and all that sort of shit, but we've got to change that, folks. We've got to think about what we're talented at and be creative, for fuck's sake. Something different, folks. Something new and that's never been done before. Not this fucking shit of going out on your fucking boat and getting drunk or sitting on a fucking floaty, getting drunk in your floaty and pissing in your floaty. Maybe even shitting in your floaty if you're that fucking dumb, that fucking drunk. So sitting on in the fucking beach or in the Sydney Harbour, that's boring. I'd rather, if I had a choice, I'd be the head honcho of the biggest photocopier company in the world, and that's brilliant. I'd be the head honcho of the largest photocopier company in the world. I'd be the CEO of a company that builds the best photocopiers that really are innovative, that are truly a step ahead of everything else. Ones that use artificial intelligence to make all the decisions for the operator, or most of the decisions, the big decisions, and basically a machine that lasts for 60 years, the hardware. So I really want to make the world a better place and celebrate how we cleaned up China, how we cleaned up China's waste dumps, and India's waste dumps. You know, making the world clean and green and using our fucking power and persuasion to help the planet, not fucking destroy the planet. So, you know, there's a lot of things I want to do, and I want to be CEO of a future photocopier company. I want these photocopiers to be designed and made in Australia and the company to be fully Australian owned. Everything about this photocopier, apart from the fact that some of the recycled materials came from China or India, the raw materials, I must say, come from overseas to help them clean up, to help them, folks. It's not just about Australia helping themselves, although of course having the machines made and designed and made and the company owned fully by Australia means we Australians benefit the most, but we still want other countries to benefit in other ways, like having clean ecosystems. So, you know, we really want to make a difference. We want to be Australian, really Australian, and I'm not going to have any overseas labour. There's not going to be any overseas labour like Apple hiring people from a company called Foxconn, which is really an unethical, cruel sweatshop of a place that builds Apple products. We're not going to use companies like that. We're not going to use companies that are outsourcing and cheap labour. There's not going to be any cheap labour. We're going to have people. We're going to have some migrant workers come from overseas, some skilled migrants. So, yeah, we're going to give them a fair go, and they still have to become Australian citizens. But once they become Australian citizens, they're going to have a great job, great working conditions, great pay. They're going to be treated with dignity and respect, not like Foxconn in Shenzhen, China, for example, slave labour, people working like 12-hour shifts and having to work 7 days a week. Absolute hellish, like hell on earth, as far as from what I've heard, from what I've read, should I say, what I've read. And I have heard it, I've been on YouTube about it. Just shit, the way they get treated. We're not going to do that. So, folks, no slave labour. It's going to be fair go. Fair wage, fair go. The wage is going to be worth a little bit more than what we have to make it. We're going to give them incentives to work and to enjoy themselves on the job. So, yeah, and that's come up looking a real treat. I think we now call this demo quits.